Hey guys, Eric with Blue Line Fishing. Welcome back to the channel. Your time's important to me as always, and what we're going to do in today's time is we're going to check out these three bait casting reels: the Black Max, the Torrent, and the Invade. I've been using these reels for a number of years now. I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think is the best one of these three reels for under $50. Stick with me. Okay, first things first on these reels. If you guys want to see an in-depth review of any of these reels, whether it be the Invade, the Black Max, or the Torrent, I've done in-depth videos on all three of these reels, and I'll leave a link down in the description where you can check those out. Because what we're going to do in this video is we're going to kind of break it down how I believe these reels have performed over the last several years, how they hold up as far as wear and tear, and how they play, for example, big fish. I've got some footage I'll show you guys on some of these reels, how they've done and how I think they performed on that. So with that being said, let's jump into it. And the first one we're going to take off with here is the Garcia Black Max, because that's the one that I've actually been fishing the longest. So first up, the Garcia Black Max. I've been fishing the Black Max for about 6 or 7 years now. I actually have two of them. And as far as the wear and tear goes, let's talk about that first. Well, when I first started fishing this reel, it really didn't have any back play in the handle, in the anti-reverse. But now I'm going to show you guys this. If I hold the spool perfectly still here, you can see there's some back play in the handle. Now, yes, you can tighten up the handle. I've done that, but just time and wear and tear, what little teeny bit of back play there was in the anti-reverse at first, has gotten a little bit worse over time with this particular Black Max. I've fished it a whole lot. I've got a ton of hours on this reel and the other one. But as far as, for example, playing those big fish, and I'll show you some footage here. So here we are at the Garcia Black Max. Hooked into a really nice fish here. I mean, this fish is right around the 7-pound mark. And didn't have any slippage with the reel as far as the drag goes, spool slippage, anything like that. Lots of torque to get this fish into the boat. I mean, this is a big fish, and it was less than 30-40 seconds to get this fish landed. Like I say, you can see nice bass there. Abu did a great job with this fish. So like I say, as far as this Black Max goes by Abu Garcia, I've been really pleased with the performance on it over the past 6-7 years. Been fortunate enough to catch a lot of nice fish on it. I consider, nice or bigger fish, that 3 to 7 pound class. I've caught a lot in the 4 to 5, 6 pound class, even 7-pound fish, and it's always done really well. I've never had any problems with the drag system on it. I've never had any problems with the torque that I needed to be able to really crank down on those fish and play them towards the boat. So it's been a really, really well-performing reel for me. Happy with it. Happy the way it's held up. We talked about a little bit of back play in the handle here. That's to be expected after 6 or 7 years of use, I think, with just about any reel. Not all, but when you're talking at one that's in this price point, $50 and under, I think it's held up really, really well. As far as the durability on the reel goes, once again, I'm not that kind to equipment, kind of hard on equipment, and this one here has definitely done the job. I'd also say, as far as the Black Max goes, I really like this reel for power fishing, things like spinner baits, chatter baits, fast moving like lipless crankbaits, things of that nature. This particular reel is in a 6:4 gear ratio. Obviously you can get them in different gear ratios, but that's the one that I really like for the power fishing. But I think it's been an exceptional reel for that purpose. All right, guys. So next, let's talk about the Piscifun Torrent. Another reel, obviously, the theme of this video falls under the $50 price point. How's this reel held up? Well, I've been using this reel for probably, I'm going to guess 4 or 5 years now, something like that, probably around the 4-year mark. And, we started off with Abu Garcia talking about back play in the handle. Well, this one has none. Trying to move it there, my hand's wiggling some, but it has no back play that is developed in the handle or anything like that. And the spool, I reeled in right here, take a little slack in, just none of that. So I'm impressed with the way this reel is held up. And it's talking about reels too. If you look at this, for example, compared against the the reel handle size compared against the Garcia Black Max. Has a larger handle. Not that you can't switch handles out on the Black Max or any other reel for that matter, but it has this oversized handle, which I think is great for torque. Now, how's it do with big fish, you ask? So the Torrent here, this is a largemouth that was about 6.5, 6 3/4 pounds, nice fish. I could feel a little bit of slip in it. And I had the star drag cranked all the way down. That's normally how I like to keep my reels because I like to play them with my thumb a little bit. But I could feel a little bit of slide in it, a little bit of flex maybe almost in the frame of the reel as I played this fish. Still did a good job on this fish because it was a big fish, lots of power. But it's one of those deals where I think the reel had just a little bit of problems with the bigger fish like this. So I'm not saying that the Piscifun is not capable of it. The Torrent's not capable of it because I've caught a lot of other nice fish on that. I think that's the biggest bass that I've caught on this particular reel. That one that was, like say, 6.5, 6 3/4. But you know, as far as the overall performance of the reel goes, I like it. I mean, and I think this is a reel too that lends itself, like in that particular clip I showed you guys, I had a rattle trap on there. I was fast moving it, but early in the day I was actually kind of just yo-yoing it up off the bottom. But I think it's one that lends itself. You can power fish with it, power baits, but a little bit more of a slower pace bait, like if you were throwing, for example, a Cinco, something like that. That to me is what this reel is a little bit better for. So this particular reel is in 7:1 gear ratio on it. I'm sure you can get it in other gear ratios as well. That's just kind of a medium speed, at least 7-ish is a medium speed to me. But that's the gear ratio this particular one's in. And to kind of reiterate what we said before, no back play in the handle whatsoever. I've had no mechanical failures with it, whether it be the star drag, the tension spool, cast control, anything like that. Worm gear, level wind in it still works great. So I really haven't had any issues other than sometimes on bigger fish. I think the Piscifun struggles just a little bit with torque. Okay, last but not least, the Quantum Invade. This is a reel that I've been fishing for the past maybe 2.5 years. I don't have any footage of me catching any what I consider really big fish on it, 6, 7, 8 pounds. I've caught a lot of nice fish on it, say 3, 4, 5 pound class. I can tell you that the torque on it, the way the torque feels and playing fish, it's a lot like the Torrent as far as sometimes it feels like it could have a little more torque to it, a little more shoulders to it, if you will, to be able to play those fish away from cover, whether it's laydowns or weed lines, boat docks, whatever it is that you're fishing, you want to get those fish away from once you get them pinned up. But with that being said, one thing that is a big plus I think on this reel is that the castability. To me at least, I keep my reels really loose. The tension knob here backed way off, and just like a 2 or 3 on the cast control, and it's almost impossible to backlash. I mean, I've fished this reel with different line on it, different rod setups, and it just rarely backlashes. It is fantastic as far as the fishability goes. Smooth on the cast, smooth on the retrieve. We talked about it with the other 2 reels, but as far as back play and the handle goes, on the original review, I did say this has a little bit of back play. It's hard to notice here. I'll hit the thumb bar here and bring some of this line in, and then see if you can, we can see here, just a little bit of back play. There's not very much at all, but there is a little back play in it, unlike the Torrent, which doesn't have any. Of course, the Black Max that I showed you does, but that reel has 6, 7 years of use on it. But for the price point on this reel, once again, they're all under $50. This is a reel, though, that I've been super impressed with because I just didn't know a whole lot about it when I first got it. But like I say, I think the castability on it, the fishability on the reel has been top notch. So let's get down to meat and potatoes. Which one of these reels do I think is number one for that under $50 price point? Well, I'll start out by saying I would buy any of these 3 reels again. And I'm just not walking the fence here. I mean, I've got lots of hours on each one of these reels. I've used each one of these reels for a number of years, for sure. So I've got a lot of time on the water with them. And I think they're all, for that $50 and under price point, I would definitely purchase any of them again. Which one, if I were just going to go out and purchase one of these, would I get? And these are my 3 favorite 50 and under reels, by the way. If you guys have others that you've used, leave me comments down below. I'd love to hear it. love to try those reels out. But which one do I think is number one? I think it's the Garcia Black Max. If you just had, 40, $50 to spend, this would be the one I'd probably get. But a close second on that would definitely be the Quantum Invade. I think Torrent is a great reel too, once again. But if I were going to do one of these, these are my top two, I would definitely probably do the Garcia Black Max. I think for the price point it's at, it's a fantastic reel. Like I say, I've actually got a couple of them. I've used them a lot over the years. I've never had any performance issues. Caught a lot of big fish on them. Caught a lot of numbers of fish on them. And I'm not that kind to equipment, kind of hard on equipment. So they've taken the abuse that I've dished out. If you guys have experience with any of these three reels, the Abu, the Piscifun, the Quantum, leave a comment down below. I'd be curious if you've had a really great experience, a terrible experience, something in between. But your guys' experience with these reels and what you think on these reels too. So, like I said before, I have full review videos for each of these three reels. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Also in the description below, I'll leave product links to all three of these reels. I have some discount codes down there for you guys too if you want to check those out. And I also have some merchandise links too if you guys are interested in a Blue Line Fishing shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, or hats. I've got those. And I would love to hear if you guys have used these reels, and if you've used these reels, what your thoughts are on these reels. So leave me a comment down below. I'd appreciate that. Once again, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And remember, until that next video, get out there and fish.